Kansas, missing and unsolved. Heroes of the heartland standing tall. Kansas, missing and unsolved. Searching every town, answering the call. They won't rest until they're found. Every face, every case, they're rail bound.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to another Kmu Live podcast. I'm your host, Rick Itchabruggy, and joining me down there, they're down there at the Oklahoma-Kansas corner, Derek Rutherford. How you doing, Derek?
Doing pretty good, man. How you doing?
Oh, not too bad. I finally figured out the last line of the intro. It says they're railbound.
I think so.
It says they're railbound. I'm okay. That's cool.
I can look it up. I forget what it said. It made sense when I loaded it. I was like, "Oh yeah, that's cool." And then every time I hear it, I'm like, "What's he say?"
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Man, I tell you, it's been a week. Almost got pulled out. Well, I did get pulled out in front of twice on my way to the laundromat today. One of them I had to slam on my brakes. One I just had to slow down a little bit. But the first one, oh my God. I thought he was going to bolt right out there straight across. I mean, he did bolt. I mean, I had to hit my brakes because, I mean, he decided he was just going to bolt from the stop sign and go. And I was like, holy mackerel.
Yeah.
My brother says I have the wrong date on the YouTube title. I do? Oh, I do. I have 8-1. Oh, geez. Supposed to be 8-6, not 8-1. My bad, folks.
I'll fix it real quick.
That's what I get for doing things in a hurry. Oh, my
No, it
goodness.
won't let me fix it. Won't let me fix it on. Oh yeah, it'll let me fix it on YouTube. That's the only place.
I don't know if it'll let us fix it on StreamYard, but oh well.
You can try to fix it on if you click edit up there. I just changed it on the YouTube. But kind of screwed on the Facebooks.
It won't let me highlight the date.
Yeah, I think for Facebook, once you hit go, it's done. Got Norm.
Yeah, the stream's already live. Can't change the start time. Okay. I have to remember that.
Main Streets, Christopher Unruh, Double T.
Yep.
Lots of people here.
Dirt Roads and Main Streets. You said Dirt Roads and Main Streets was Norm, right?
Yeah, that's his. That's another channel that he does. He kind of just goes and gives the history of some of these small towns around here in the 5-state area.
We get Norm in the habit of saying hello, everybody.
Yeah.
AKA Cheer, or from Cheers.
Yeah, man. I think I might be getting sick, man.
Oh, don't do that. I know I've been waking up the last few days with stuffy nose, so we'll see. Maybe I'm getting something to do. Of course, I always get bad allergies about this time of year. So,
yeah, I don't know if it's because of all the harvesters or whatever, but I've had a cough for like 2 days and a headache for a day.
I don't know so much about over where you're at, but my way, a few days ago, we had an issue with a wind shift and blowing the smoke down from the wildfires in Canada. And we had like a low quality air alert for a while. And they were telling older people with heart conditions, don't go outside if you don't have to.
I believe it, man.
So I don't know. I find it hard to believe that smoke made it all the way down here from Canada, but I guess it did.
And then it's just like very, very hot, and it's humid here. And I was reading the other day that there's such a thing as corn sweat. So like the corn produces liquid, and then it's evaporated. So I'm surrounded by cornfields. So I think that I don't know if it's true or not, but I think that being around corn can make the humidity a lot worse than it should be in that area.
See, my brother's already got his Chiefs arrowhead in his YouTube profile there.
Well,
go ahead, googly moogly.
He better slow down. It's going to be another 50 years before they win again. It's over.
I think the big thing with Kansas City right now is trying to decide whether they're going to stay in Arrowhead or move across the border into Kansas. That's the big thing right now.
If I was Missouri, I would be upset that they are leaving after Missouri's had them for all this time, and now they're like a pretty big contender. And if they leave,
yeah,
I bet you most Americans think that the Chiefs are already in Kansas. So
Yeah. I don't know what they're going to decide out of that deal.
yeah.
I guess we'll wait and see what happens.
Well, you read what we think is a bogus headline before the show. There's a headline saying Roger Staubach is going to come and coach for the Cowboys and Sunday basketball.
I said Jerry Jones expressed interest in bringing back as the assistant offensive coordinator. I'm like, I don't think so. He's 83 years old. I don't think so.
Who knows, man? Who knows? Staubach could be the missing link, man.
I'm telling you, just like I ran into another one on a flyer we're going to cover later for Xylea Brownlee, who's missing again. Somebody is running a post with a picture of her with a black eye and lacerations to the forehead, saying that's what she looked like when she was last seen, which I found out is an inaccurate statement. I touched bases with WPD detectives, and they said, nope, that's not an accurate photo. Don't use it. And I said, okay. And then my friend Annette Lawless did some investigating and found out that that was actually a photo from a car accident she was involved in Garden City early last year. So if anybody sees that photo of Xylea Brownlee where she's got the black eye and lacerations to the forehead, that's a very old photo. It's not recent. It's not current. It's not what she looks like at this moment. So just to let you know, I did my homework. And
I don't think we're going to go over it on this broadcast, but everybody's free to go check it out on their own. Ricky said that he has got a chance to kind of go over it. It looks like there was a post on Facebook from Brittany Valdez, and she is talking about. It was a few weeks ago, maybe even a month or two ago, in Hooker, London. Valdez went missing, and then she was found deceased. And that's her mother that shared, right, Brittany?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. And again, it's not something we're probably going to cover on this show, but we do kind of recommend going over there and reading it for yourself.
Yeah. She put out a very long statement that touched on the circumstances around London's death, but didn't go into causes of death because I don't think that they've completely determined that yet. I don't think, but she did go into lots of detail about the circumstances, and it's pretty troubling.
And I think the main reason we won't go over it is because she did put a lot of information out there. It would take 30, 40 minutes to dissect what she said. But Brittany Valdez, go check out her post. She has put some information out. She's the mother of London, so it's definitely worth checking out. But I'm going to go ahead and roll our intro. You're watching Kansas Missing and Unsolved. We'll be right back after this with some cold cases.
All right. I know we've been touching on her case a lot, but I want to make sure we do our best to keep it out there for her family's sake, at least. Continue to talk about her because she needs to be told. Lori Heimer is an unsolved homicide from June 25th, 2016. She was stabbed to death in her rural Surrey, Kansas home. Again, on June 25th, 2016, she ran her business called Lori's Poodle Patch from her home. Lori was a licensed breeder of miniature-sized poodles and was licensed through the state of Kansas. KBI was contacted to assist the Saline County Sheriff's Department in the investigation. They responded with agents and their crime scene response team. During the investigation, 2 vehicles of interest were developed. Vehicle 1 was said to be an older flatbed pickup truck, possibly a Chevrolet, which is described as beat-up, maroon in color, with a white front bumper, silver grille, and wide-style side mirrors. The driver was described as a man who was 50 years of age or older with salt and pepper hair. Vehicle 2 was an older style small pickup truck, possibly a Chevrolet S10, with a 2-tone paint job, dark blue on top and bottom with light blue down the middle, a silver back bumper, and a newer blue tailgate that appeared to have minimal damage when compared to the body of the truck. The remainder of the vehicle is described as beat up and scratched up. There may have been 2 animal cages or crates in the back of it. The driver of the second vehicle is described as a white male, approximately 40 years of age, with shoulder-length hair and wearing glasses. Investigators say they would like to locate these 2 vehicles. They'd also like to speak to anyone that had any contact or a business appointment with Lori at any time between June 20th and 25th, 2016. If you have any information regarding the homicide of Lori J. Heimer, please call the Saline County Sheriff's Office at 785-826-6500 or the KBI at 1-800-572-7463 and see what we can do to help bring some justice to Lori Heimer and her family. And Tammy Sue Cook is in the house saying, "What's up?" Same old, different day. And thank you for tagging me on the 3 young ladies missing out of Kansas City. I did their flyer this morning, and we will be covering it on the show this evening.
I just Googled it. It says like a miniature poodle can cost anywhere from $800 to like $3,500 to just go buy one. So she did sell some pretty, like that's a pretty high priced item, like the miniature poodles.
Yeah. There were some other breeds that she sold as well besides miniature poodles. I will have to look that up again, but I was reading it in one of the articles. There's like maybe 3 different breeds that she was selling. So I'm going to have to look that up again.
I know you just
maybe we can get Double T to research that real quick and see if he can find it for me.
Was there any kind of robbery at all? Like any kind of cash missing? Any kind of goods missing?
No information released along those lines at all.
Because as you drove me out there, it took us forever to get there. It's literally in the middle of nowhere.
Tammy's saying her double retired. I don't know what a double retired friend is, but okay, got a golden doodle for $2,500, and that was one of the other breeds that she was breeding was golden doodles.
So they're nice dogs, but they're really pricey. Yeah. So I'm just trying to think of like why somebody, and again, I'm thinking of like a stranger, which again, her house is way out in the middle of the boondocks. I kind of find it hard to believe that a stranger could find it, but like, I'm just trying to think like, like her job was a situation where she sold very expensive dogs. Maybe she sold a dog and somebody wasn't happy with what they got. I don't know. It's a very weird situation.
She had retired twice, silly. Didn't know you could retire twice. Okay. That's cool.
I want to retire once at least.
Retired from being retired. I don't know.
Well, that's a pretty interesting case. Crime Stoppers on the screen, obviously.
Pretty
high
There's your word. Yeah, $37,500 is currently being offered for information that leads to an arrest and conviction of the person or persons responsible for Lori's murder. So, if anybody has any information, any tips, anything, call it in and let the sheriff's department know, let the KBI know, so they can look into it and see if it's something they need or not.
100%.
Yeah. This is another one that's kind of really I've gotten close to. Haley Davis, missing from here in Solana, Kansas since July 21st, 2023. 19 when she was missing. She's now 21. 5'6" to 5'7", weighs between 190 and 200 pounds. Her hair was last known to be dyed bleach blonde, and she has blue eyes. She left Solana, Kansas with a male acquaintance to go to Wichita, Kansas. She was last active on her social media and last heard from on July 21st of 2023. Wichita police say that the investigation has led them to believe that Haley may be deceased. At the time of her disappearance, again, she was 19. She's now 21. 5'6" to 5'7" tall, weighs between 190 and 200 pounds. Her hair was last known to be dyed bleach blonde, and she does have blue eyes. If you have any information regarding Haley's disappearance, of her whereabouts, or the location of her remains, please call Detective Owen at 316-268-4185 or email aowen@wichita.gov. To remain anonymous, you can call Crime Stoppers at 316-267-2111 or the KBI at 785-296-4017 or their toll-free number 800-572-7463, or you can scan that Crime Stoppers QR code down there and it will take you to a form on the website to fill out and submit your tip that way. And another avenue to use, and I don't know if anybody watching may be curious as well, if she's missing in Salina, why is all this going through Wichita? Well, reason being is that from what I was told from somebody on the Salina Police Department, they've investigated everything that they can investigate and they've turned it over to Wichita. So Wichita is now heading up the investigation. So that's why all this has Wichita's information on it now as opposed to Salina's. So, and the reason that is because since she did go with a male acquaintance to Wichita, So,
Annette's got some
sorry,
comments
that
there.
was my daughter. Getting her
Annette's
playing a
chiming
game on her computer.
in the comments saying that it was her 21st birthday recently.
Yeah. How you doing, Annette?
You know, you watch. I'm talking like a long time ago. You know, but like you used to watch like CSI and stuff like that, and
Oh,
they
I
do
still
all this.
do.
Well, I mean, but you know, like anytime something happens, they get like whatever it is to the right person, and there's some interaction, and then they put it in the database, and they know like I know all that technology exists, obviously, but I don't think that the resources or manpower exists to give every case like the full attention it deserves. Like I'm always curious, like, and I'm sure the police have done this, you know, but it's not something that would be on a flyer. But I'm kind of curious, like, at what point did her cell phone stop pinging? You know, like tech
Right.
people
I've
have to
been,
know, like where her phone was when it just completely went dead. You know, like
right.
or if it ever did go, you know, maybe it was sold to somebody. But to me, like if you just had like any CSI show on this, like they could get her cell phone, triangulate some stuff, and give you a pretty good idea what happened. But in reality, you know, there's not a lot of manpower and there's a whole lot of missing people. You know.
Yeah. That's what I like that show, The First 48. I mean, they take you on a real murder case. I mean, they go through everything, and if they don't solve it like within the first 48, they let you know 3 days after the murder, a month after the murder, 6 months after the murder. You know, they tell you how long they're going out on this thing till they finally solve it.
Mhm.
And there's another show that I've been really taking a big interest in, and it's called Witness to Murder. What is that called? Witness to Murder: Digital Evidence. It's on A&E. It's a reality, and they take you through again the case, whether missing persons or unsolved homicide or homicide, and they show you how they use like stuff like Fitbit information, cell phone information, video surveillance information, um, all that kind of stuff to put together to follow somebody's digital footprint to figure out who murdered this person, and it's really a really cool thing. I mean, not too many people stop to think about it. Just even with your cell phone, whenever you go from home to work or home to the store, from the store back home or from work back home, you leave a digital footprint on every tower your cell phone crosses when you go by it, going from one place to another. So they can use that to track your movements wherever you go.
We'll move on, but another line way to look at it too is I know all this technology exists, but then you get into like Big Brother type conversations. It's like, oh well, I don't want the government following me, but
Mm,
like for me, I'm not
yeah,
somebody who wants somebody spying on me, but if I can exchange it for like a pretty decent, you know, chance at safety, knowing that like everybody in my family is being monitored by like Big Brother, I would
right.
probably trade it at this point. I mean, we don't have a ton to hide, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like we have this technology, but then you have privacy. Well, what's Double T saying?
You're saying that this is in reference to Lori Heimer, that she bred and sold poodles, tiny toy poodles, teacup poodles, Yorkie poos, golden doodles, pure golden retrievers, among others.
Wow.
Yeah. Now, I'll kind of give you an example of one of the episodes of that show that I watched, that Witness to Murder, Digital Evidence. This woman was found murdered in her home, and police go in, check out the crime scene, do whatever they have to do at the crime scene. First thing they notice is her Fitbit's up on the bathroom sink, where she was really devoted to her weight loss journey and her athletics and everything. So she wore her Fitbit everywhere she went. So they were able to use her Fitbit to determine what time it was that she took her last step. Well, then they started investigating stuff, and then they of course they always eliminate everybody that's close to that person. So they start talking to her estranged husband, and of course he denied any involvement, stuff like that. And they checked his work truck. His work truck has a GPS, and that truck was nowhere near her house. So initially they were thinking, well, maybe not him, but and eventually they were like, okay, well, he wears a Fitbit too, and his Fitbit showed that, I can't remember if he was wearing his Fitbit or not, but they went even further and found out that he had gone to Walmart, and they pulled up video surveillance at the Walmart that he was in Walmart, showed him going out in the parking lot, getting into his work truck. And when he left Walmart in his work truck, he didn't leave the parking lot. He pulled to the end of the parking lot and pulled up next to his personal vehicle and switched vehicles. And they're like, oh, okay. So the police go to the Walmart parking lot and find his vehicle sitting there with no license plate on it. And they started, examining the vehicle and stuff. And he pulls up and just blows a fuse because they found his vehicle. And so they're like, okay. And so they searched the vehicle. And one of the things they noticed about his wife's body was that her fingernails were cut down to the quick, where the trimmings were in his vehicle with his DNA on her fingernail trimmings. Plus, there was a drop of her blood in the vehicle. So they were able to, so they were able to tie him to her murder through surveillance video, through all this other stuff. And it's just like, and when it went to trial, the defense attorney had to do a plea deal because he's like, "There's nothing we can do to defend against all this evidence." So they had to do a plea deal.
I think you have to be pretty brave to break the law in modern day. There's people have cameras on their doorbells,
Oh yeah, video doorbells. Oh, they're everywhere. I mean, you can't hardly go anywhere without seeing cameras nowadays.
You're being watched, by something for the most part.
Yeah, and like I say, even with your cell phones, they can track everywhere you go by every tower your cell phone pings off of. And I found something interesting about my employer and other home improvement companies. I found out we have what's called a tracer, and what that does is it counts how many people come in and out of the store based on how many cell phones go through the door.
That's kind of wild.
Yeah.
I always was curious how that works because I'm in marketing, so I have a lot of companies that I'll make a commercial for them for like a weekend of sales that they're doing, and then I'll ask them, like, how many people did you get, and they can tell me like to the number how many customers they had each day.
I was just
always
noticing.
like, do you have somebody sitting there counting or what?
Tammy noticed the T-Bird Productions. The T-Bird Productions, really?
Oh, she didn't know that Double T was back there pushing buttons?
Funny story about the T-Bird thing, though. When I was a kid in grade school, my daughter's playing a game in there on her computer.
Sounds like she's doing good or bad, but yeah, she's playing a game.
But my dad used to write T-Bird on all my sack lunches when we'd go on field trips. When I was in grade school, I was like, gee, thanks, Dad. If I wasn't having a bad enough time with my last name.
T-Bird, I like it.
Yeah. All right. I wanted to cover this one tonight because I'd seen a family member of his had posted today is actually the 3-year anniversary of his disappearance. So I wanted to get him on here tonight because of that. And I know I have his flyer in my lineup. There it is. Okay. Brandon Shane Smith, missing from Greenwood County, Kansas since August 6th, 2022. He's 36 when he was missing and now be 39. 5'11", 240 pounds, brown hair, blue eyes. He went missing. I don't know why I have it differently. Anyway, he did not renew his CDL when it expired on his birthday in October 2022, which is very unlike him. He's been known to drive over the road and has previously been employed in several positions in the oil field as a heavy equipment operator, a certified hazmat instructor, harvest season worker, a farmer, an equipment mechanic, and was a forklift operator at Simmons. So it sounds like jack of all trades. Again, when he went missing, he was 36. He's now 39. He's 5'11", weighs 240 pounds. His weight does fluctuate. Has dark brown hair that when it grows longer, it gets curly, and blue eyes. He may have a dark beard, but is known to have a fade and goatee. He does wear a hat and air-out boots everywhere he goes, and only has half a foot on the left side due to an oil rig accident in 2012. Has Jackson Dade Smith and a SIDS ribbon tattooed on his upper left arm, with ERS in Old English font surrounded by rosary beads and a cross down his left forearm, as well as a skull and crossbones with a hard hat partially covering Jesse Lear on his right forearm. If you have any information regarding Brandon's disappearance or you know of his whereabouts, please call the Elk County, Kansas Sheriff's Office at 620-374-2108 or the Greenwood County, Kansas Sheriff's Office at 620-583-5568 or KBI at 785-296-4017. And see what we can do to get Brandon located and back to where he needs to be. And again, today marks exactly 3 years since the day he went missing.
Too long.
Yeah. 3 long years. How you doing, Ray Angela?
That's a cool name, Ray Angela.
Yeah. This is a new one that I just did today, actually. Or was it yesterday? It might have been yesterday. Anyway, his name is Kelvin Bullitt. He's missing from Hayes, Kansas since June 15th, 2025. He's 61. He's 5'7", weighs 157 pounds, has brown hair and hazel eyes. I do know that one of the last times he was seen was at a car show in Hayes, and I'd seen somebody say they saw him leave with another man at a quick pace and hadn't seen him since. Talking to his daughter, she says she's basically out searching on her own. She doesn't really feel like law enforcement's really been too much of a help, so she reached out to me, and so I got the flyer going, told her I would be covering it on the show tonight. So if anybody has any information regarding Kelvin's disappearance, or you know of his whereabouts, please call the Hayes, Kansas Police Department. It's 785-625-1030 or KBI at 785-296-4017. Or if you'd like, you can even message it to me and I'll pass it on for you if you'd like. I don't have a problem doing that. I've done it many times. Matter of fact, I did it today already. So let's see what we can do to get Kelvin located and back to where he needs to be. Thank you. My dad was Ray and a nurse off General Hospital in 1969. Put them as one. Oh, I got you.
I like it.
That's cool.
Were you named after anybody specific?
Who, me? No.
Yeah.
It was supposed to be actually Larry Jr. after my dad, but my dad vetoed it because he said it would be too confusing having two Larrys in one house. So my dad vetoed that. And then my mom tried again with my brother, and he I guess he again vetoed it. So
my mom never told me this, but I was looking through some of her old records when I was in high school, and there's she had a record by the band the Bay City Rollers. Their singer's name is Ian, and their drummer's name is Derek. And that's me and my brother's name. So I was like, "Did you name us after these guys?" And she was like, "Yeah."
Yep, I used to listen to the Bay City Rollers back then. I still do once in a while. Their SATRDAY Night and The Way I Feel Tonight was another one of theirs that I really liked. That was a ballad, The Way I Feel Tonight. I think they were a Scottish band, if I'm not mistaken.
I'll have to look it up. I don't
think they were Scottish. Queenie says she was supposed to be Sandra, but my mom saw Kendra in the newspaper the day I was born. Oh, okay. Cool.
Yep, Scottish.
That's what I thought. They were Scottish. They used to have a TV show too back in the day when I was a kid. So I used to watch that on Saturdays. Why am I showing my age? Oh my goodness.
Anthony Patrick.
Yep, I pulled his out of the deal today too because I wanted to cover him too. It's been a while since we've talked about Anthony, and it's like, we need to talk about him too. He's missing from here in Salina, Kansas since August 17th, so his anniversary is coming up here in about 11 days. In 1987, he was 36 when he went missing. He would now be 74. He's 5'9", 160 pounds, black hair, brown eyes. He was last seen by his family at Jerry Ivy Park in Salina, Kansas on August 17th, 1987. His wife saw him driving east on his way home from work at Beach Aircraft Court. It's now One Vision, same building, in Salina. She followed him to the park. He stopped near the restrooms and spoke to her. He was surprised to see her and told her he was not feeling well. Anthony's wife tried to convince him to let her drive him home, but he refused. She left him to get help from her brother, and when she returned to the park, he was gone. His car was still parked by the restrooms, locked with all of his belongings inside, including his lunch, I'm told. He did not show up for work the next day and has never been heard from again. Anthony's social security number, credit card, and bank accounts have not been used, and he has not contacted any of his family. He was devoted to his two children and is uncharacteristic of him to leave without warning. He's originally from New York, where his parents, who were Italian immigrants, live. He had been living in Salina for about 9 years prior to his disappearance. Anthony's family feared that he became homeless. They distributed missing persons flyers in New York and Florida, where his sister lived, and he has never been found. His case remains unsolved. If you have any information regarding Anthony's disappearance, his whereabouts, please call the Salina, Kansas Police Department at 785-826-7210 or KBI at 785-296-4017. and see what we can do to get Anthony located and back to where he needs to be.
All right.
And here's Haley Davis's brother here. Says, thank you guys, Internet Lawless, for all you do. Won't give up. Well, we won't either. That's for sure, Travis.
Yeah, for sure, man.
Yeah.
Not good. All right. We got some more cases for you. You're watching Kansas Missing Unsolved. We'll be right back after this. What's
All
wrong?
right.
That's a switch it. My bad.
All right. I'm going to go ahead and cover him because I haven't got word yet that he has been located. So I'll go ahead and cover him real quick.
You might check because when we started the show, between when we started and like a few minutes ago, one missing teen has been found. You might check it.
Okay. Well, let me look here real quick.
I didn't see who it was. I just know that the
Because I know I was told that he was. Nope, he's been removed. So apparently he did get found. So we'll not cover him since he's been found, apparently.
Nice.
Yep. Okay. This is when I was referring to earlier about the photo with the black eye and the lacerations on the forehead. That was not an accurate picture. And no. They told me the most recent one is the one on the far right of this flyer here. So this is Xylea Brownlee. She's missing from Wichita, Kansas again since August 1st of this year. So just about 5 days. She's 14 years old, 5'1", 96 pounds, black hair, brown eyes. She was last seen in the 7000 block of East 37th Street North in Wichita. And she's 14, 5'1", 96 pounds, black hair, brown eyes. Last known to be wearing an orange shirt and black leggings. If you have any information regarding Xylea's disappearance, or you know of her whereabouts, please call 911 immediately or call the Wichita, Kansas Police Department at 316-263-6011 or 316-660-9254 or 316-660-9456 or the KBI at 785-296-4017 and see what we can do to get Xylea located and back to where she needs to be again. Christopher's asking down here. Actually, Christopher, I have not had the opportunity to watch that yet. I haven't forgot about it. I just haven't had the opportunity. I've been very, very busy.
Who was
today? It was no exception. It was my day off from work, but my day, It was a two-part interview. I think it was her. Didn't you say it was her brother? I believe he said. It was a two-part interview, and he sent me the links to both in my messenger. I can send them to you if you want me to.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I haven't, like I said, I have not had a chance to watch it. I have just been so busy. And I just got a new picture of Tiavani since I've done a flyer for her before, and she'd been located, but she's gone missing again. And I was sending a more recent photo. So it's always good to get more recent photos when we can get them. This is Tiavani Williams, missing from Topeka, Kansas since June 24th, 2025. 15 when she was missing. She's now 16. 5'1" to 5'2", weighs 135 pounds, black hair, brown eyes. Don't have much more than that. But if you have any information regarding Tiavani's disappearance or you know of her whereabouts, please call the Topeka, Kansas Police Department at 785-368-9200 or KBI at 785-296-4017 and see what we can do to get Tiavani located and back to where she needs to be. And this one, we've covered her before, but you can see it's been a while, December of last year. And I just added the picture on the far left was just recently sent to me, and I just did add that one. So I thought, well, you know what, I'll update it, repost it, and we'll cover again because it's been a good long time since we have talked about Andrea Revels. She's missing from Arkansas City, Kansas since December 2nd, 2024. 16 years old, 5'4", weighs between 125 and 140 pounds, brown hair and brown eyes. Her nose is pierced. If you have any information regarding Andrea's disappearance or you know her whereabouts, please call the Arkansas City, Kansas Police Department at 620-441-4444 or KBI at 785-296-4017 and see what we can do to get Andrea located and back to where she needs to be. Started to chuckle there a minute because that 4444 reminds me of an Abbott and Costello bit. Started to get me to chuckle thinking about that bit. And this one is Melanie Davison. And those two photos are actually more recent updated because when I originally did this flyer, and I updated her age as well on here, but the original photos were older photos that I had used on older flyers, and I'm really glad these photos came to light because we really needed. I didn't realize she changed as much. Matter of fact, let me be real quick here. I'll show you the old flyer real fast here, or the old photos. Second here. This was the original photos when I'd put the flyer out. So yeah. So this big difference. Very big difference. So I was really glad to get my hands on those. But she's missing from here in Salina, Kansas since May 5th of this year. She was 16 when she was missing. She's now 17. She's 5'8", 115 pounds, brown hair, blue eyes. She may identify as a male and sometimes interchanges the use of their names between Melanie and Max. Again, when she went missing, she was 16. She's now 17, 5'8", weighs 115 pounds, brown hair, blue eyes. She is known to frequently change her hair color, and her ears are pierced. And if you look at the left-hand photo at the side of her neck, you can see she has a tattoo on the side of her neck there. And according to NCMEC on their website, it says, caution is advised. If locate, do not approach, immediately contact law enforcement. So if you have any information regarding Melanie's disappearance, or you know of her whereabouts, please call 911 immediately, or call the Salina, Kansas Police Department at 785-826-7210, or the KBI at 785-296-4017. And unfortunately, NCMEC never does say why not to approach. They just put on their do not and contact law enforcement immediately. So you guys see her or know where she's at, call law enforcement ASAP so we can get her located and back to where she needs to be. Oh, okay. The interview, Christopher's saying that interview was with a Kelly Starnes, who was a friend of David Madden and Megan Fugelsong's. And I did an update on Lorenzo's here too. That tattoo picture on his hand of the skeleton hand on there. Yeah, apparently that's a recent addition to his tattoo arsenal for only being 17, but he's got that on his hand now. He's missing from Kansas City, Kansas since May 18th, 2025. He's 17, 5'5", 120 pounds, dark brown, black hair, and dark brown eyes. Lorenzo Sanchez has health conditions that require medications that he does not have with him. And he's 17, he's 5'5", weighs 120 pounds, dark brown, black hair, and dark brown eyes. He also has tattoos with the Kansas City Royal logo and Rest in Peace Ron with the dates 9/2/79 and 12/2/21 on his arms. And the new addition of a skeleton hand on his left hand that will either incorporate that cross on his middle knuckle there. You can see it in the very middle there, or it's going to get covered up. I'm not sure which. And I asked if there was any more work done to it, and I was told at this point, no. So if you have any information regarding Lorenzo's disappearance, or you know of his whereabouts, please call the Kansas City, Kansas Police Department at 913-596-3000, or the KBI at 785-296-4017, and see what we can do to get him located and back to where he needs to be. And the scary thing to me is if you look at go back to Lorenzo's flyer for just a second. If you look at that far right photo of the tattoo of the hand right there.
Yeah.
You see what you notice what his hand is resting on? It's an AK.
Jeez.
No, it's an AK. Because I've cropped it down a little bit, so it's not quite so noticeable, but I have a larger version where it shows more of the AK, but it's definitely an AK.
Some people are in such a hurry to grow up, man.
No, I'm telling you. This is Ethan Keith, missing from Wichita, Kansas since May 10th, 2025. He's 16, 5'7", weighs between 150 and 160 pounds, brown hair, blue eyes. He does have some serious mental health concerns, and he's currently without his medication. It's believed he may be either in the Kansas City, Missouri area, He also has ties to Wichita, Kansas, Fort Scott, Kansas, Odessa, Missouri, Independence, Missouri, and Warrensburg, Missouri. And he's 16. He's 5'7", weighs between 150 and 160 pounds, has brown hair and blue eyes. If you have any information regarding Ethan's disappearance, or you know of his whereabouts, please call 911 immediately or call the Wichita, Kansas Police Department at 316-660-9456 or 316-660-9254 or 316-263-6011 or KBI at 785-296-4017. And see what we can do to get Ethan located and back to where he needs to be. A lot of teens this week.
Yeah, I was noticing that. Pretty big list.
Yeah. And where are you at, Alexandria? I know I pulled her. I know I did. Maybe I didn't. Let me go grab her flyer real quick. Take me 2 shakes here. Doggone it. I went through that list twice and I thought I had everything. Wrong.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. I always miss one. Wouldn't be me if I didn't. Okay, Alexandria 6, 2025. She's 16, 5'3", 103 pounds, brown hair that was last known to be dyed black and blue eyes. Family member found Alexandra's bedroom window was left open and she was gone. She does have some serious mental health conditions or medical conditions and some mental health concerns and is without any of her medications for any of these. You know, she's 16, 5'3", weighs 103 pounds. She has brown hair that was last known to be dyed black and blue eyes. She does have nose ring piercings in each nostril. If you look at the pictures closely, you can see them both there. If you have any information regarding Alexandra's disappearance or you know of her whereabouts, please call the Wichita, Kansas Police Department at 316-660-9456 or 316-660-9254 or 316-263-6011 or KBI at 785-296-4017 and see what we can do to get Alexandra located and back to where she needs to be. Another one that needs to be found.
Yeah.
It's crazy. So many teens. And this one's Natalie Harry. Missing from Kansas City, Kansas since July 22nd, 2025. She's 14, 5'2", 175 pounds, blonde hair, brown eyes. She also has some mental health concerns and is without her needed medication. And she's 14, 5'2", 175 pounds, blonde hair, brown eyes. If you have any information regarding Natalie's disappearance, you know her whereabouts, please call the Kansas City, Kansas Police Department, 913-596-3000, or the KBI at 785-296-4017, and see if we can't get her located and back to where she needs to be. Okay. And we've covered him recently, but I added that far right-hand photo today that was sent to me today and got him back in the lineup again because of the new photo. Caden Kukin, missing from Wichita, Kansas since July 24th, 2025. He's 17, 5'10", 150 pounds, brown hair, blue eyes. Don't have much more than that, but if you have any information regarding Caden's disappearance or you know of his whereabouts, please call the Wichita, Kansas Police Department at 316-660-9456 or 316-660-9254 or 316-263-6011 or the KBI at 785-296-4017. And see what we can do to get Caden located and back to where he needs to be. And I actually like that new picture that I added because he doesn't look so stern like he does in the other two.
Yeah.
It's a little bit more relaxed anyway. And this one I did just literally right before the show. Jareth Leonard, he's missing from Wichita, Kansas since August 3rd, 2025. And we have covered him in the past. But he's 16, he's 5'5", 120 pounds, brown hair, brown eyes. Don't have much more than that, but if you have any information regarding Jareth's disappearance or you know of his whereabouts, please call the Wichita, Kansas Police Department at 316-660-9254 or 316-660-9456 or 316-263-6011 or the KBI at 785-296-4017. And see if we can't get Jareth located and back to where he needs to be.
All right, one more segment. Out of state cases. You're watching Kansas Missing and Unsolved. We'll be right back after this.
All right. Now we're getting into the ones that I did this morning. Whew. Okay. This one is William Keys. He is missing from Kansas City, Missouri since July 26, 2025. He's 59, 5'8", 140 pounds, gray hair, brown eyes. He's last seen near 45th Street and Park Avenue in Kansas City, Missouri. He uses a walker and a wheelchair to get around. And he's 59, 5'8", weighs 140 pounds. He has gray hair and brown eyes. He's last known to be wearing a red flannel shirt and blue jeans, which I found an interesting conflict when I looked at. I got all this information off the Kansas City, Missouri Police Department's Facebook. When I looked on the Missouri State Highway Patrol's website, they have him wearing a blue shirt, a blue button-down shirt, and blue jeans. So I don't know which is which. But if you have any information regarding Williams' disappearance, you know of his whereabouts, please call 911 immediately, or call the Kansas City, Missouri Police Department's Missing Persons Unit at 816-234-5043 or 816-234-5111 or Missouri State Highway Patrol at 573-526-6178 or 866-362-6422. Let's see what we can do to get William located and back to where he needs to be. Hey, Raynetta, how you doing? And this one is Brooke Marie Guidry. And she is missing from Kansas City, Missouri as well since August 4th, 2025. She's 15, she's 5'5" to 5'7" tall, weighs between 160 and 165 pounds, has blondish brown hair with a reddish tint and hazel eyes, was last seen near the 10,200 block of North Bellefontaine Avenue in Kansas City. Again, she's 15, 5'5" to 5'7", weighs between 160 and 165 pounds, has blondish brown hair that has a reddish tint and is usually in a bun, and hazel eyes, most closely looking like the far left-hand photo over there. She does have cut scars on her left arm. If you have any information regarding Brooke's disappearance or you know of her whereabouts, please call the Kansas City, Missouri Police Department's Missing Persons Unit at 816-234-5043 or 816-234-5111 or the Missouri State Highway Patrol at 573-526-6178 or 866-362-6422. See what we can do to get Brooklyn located and back to where she needs to be. And Raynetta's in the house. How you doing, Raynetta? This one was an interesting one to do, let me tell you. I had to look several different places to get the information that I needed for this flyer, let me tell you. Because Kansas City, Missouri Police Department and their post did not have much, but this is Lloyd. I'm going to hopefully not butcher these names too bad, but this is Lloyd Deanna Stevenson, Marcianne Randolph, and Marcina Crawford. They're missing from Kansas City, Missouri since July 24th, 2025, although that's what Missouri State Highway Patrol says. They say July 24th. Kansas City, Missouri Police Department page says July 31st. So I'm not sure which date's accurate. Anyway, Modiana is 6. She's 4 foot tall, 75 pounds, black hair, brown eyes. Marcianne is 13 years old. I couldn't get a height or weight on her, but she has black hair and brown eyes. Marcina is 16 years old. She's 5'4", 200 pounds, black hair, brown eyes. They were last seen in the area of the 600 block of Northeast 38th Street in Kansas City, Missouri. It is believed that they may be with a family member. If you have any information regarding Lodiana, Marcianne, and Marcina's disappearance, you know of their whereabouts, please call 911 immediately or call the Kansas City, Missouri Police Department Missing Persons Unit at 816-234-5043 or 866-362-6422 or the Missouri State Highway Patrol at 573-526-6178 or 866-362-6422 and see if we can't get these young ladies located and back to where they need to be and make sure they're okay.
That's pretty wild.
Yeah. I was asking questions in the comments on KCMO PD's Facebook saying, are they sisters? I mean, what's the scoop on it, And I always ask the questions because they didn't have height, weight, hair, or eye color for any of them. I asked if they could please provide that for their flyer. Like I said, I went to Missouri State Highway Patrol this morning because I tried getting on their website last night and it kept telling me some kind of an internal server error. And I'm like, oh, brother, here we go.
Wow.
So I didn't actually get the flyer made until this morning because I had to wait to try to get as much information as I could. Like I said, for Marcian, I still couldn't nail down the height and weight. So
yeah,
it's always a challenge. This is Alexandria Browning. We did a flyer for her a while back, but she's missing again. She's missing from Independence, Missouri since July 26, 2025. She's 14, 4'11", 125 pounds, blonde hair that was dyed black and blue, and hazel eyes. She was last seen in the 700 block of North Kiger Road in Independence, Missouri. And she's 14. She's 4'11", weighs 125 pounds, has blonde hair that was last known to be dyed black and blue, and hazel eyes. If you have any information regarding Alexandria's disappearance, or you know of her whereabouts, please call the Independence, Missouri Police Department at 816-325-7332 or the Missouri State Highway Patrol at 573-526-6178 or 866-362-6422 and see what we can do to get Alexandria located and back to where she needs to be.
On your out of states, are most of these sent to you? The ones that aren't like Kansas or Missouri?
Well, like Alexandria's, I ran across in my news feed. The three girls was in, let's see, where did I see that one? It's Kansas City, Missouri's Facebook, their police department Facebook. Mr. Keys was on Kansas City, Missouri Police Department's Facebook. So a lot of them I'm just fine running across in my news feed most of the time. Of course, like I say, oh my goodness, Tammy actually tagged me in a post about the three girls also. So I got tagged that way as well. So and I have people message me links and stuff all the time too. So no shortage, believe me. And I am appreciative of each and every one of them here. This one's Dana Bruce. Do what?
How did you first find out about Dana?
How did I find out? I don't remember if it was Ellen that contacted me about her way back when or not. It's been so long, I cannot honestly remember on Dana anymore. I know a lot of the information I found on the Charlie Project, but as far as initial contact, Ellen may have been the one that contacted me initially about her. It's been a long while, but I can't remember exactly. I do so many flyers, I can't keep them all straight anymore.
Yeah.
But some of them I can remember, some I can't. No. I mean, this is Dana Jane Bruce, missing from Sedalia, Missouri since October 4th, 2008. She was 23 when she was missing. She's now 40. 5'2", 98 pounds, brown hair, green or hazel eyes. She was last seen at her children's babysitter's home in Sedalia. She left the children there earlier that day so she could go out for the evening. She returned at midnight and gave the babysitter more money and asked her to watch the children for the rest of the night. Dana was seen at Malone's Bar on Main Street with a young man driving a late model red Ford F-150 truck earlier on the night of her disappearance. She left with that man at 11:30 p.m. Police have identified the man Dana was with on the night she vanished. He traveled to Atlanta, Georgia after her disappearance, and police questioned him about Dana there after he was arrested on unrelated charges of marijuana possession and driving on a suspended license. Authorities have not named him publicly, but they are calling him a person of interest in her case. Told his questioners that he and Dana parted ways after they left the bar, and he never saw her after that. She left all of her belongings behind, including her hairbrush and toothbrush. She does not have credit cards, debit cards, checking account, cell phone, or a car. And she was 23 when she was missing. She would now be 40. She's 5'2" and weighs 98 pounds. She has brown hair that was colored brown at the roots, black at the ends with red highlights, and green or hazel eyes. She was last known to be wearing a black shirt with the word Rebel and silver lettering on the front, and blue jeans. And Dana has a tattoo of a teddy bear with wings and the name Dylan on her upper left arm. She's blind in her left eye. She has a 2-inch scar along her lower spine and a staple scar on her right shoulder. Her ears are pierced 1 time each. If you have any information regarding Dana's disappearance or you know of her whereabouts, please call the Sedalia, Missouri Police Department at 660-827-7823 or 660-826-8100, or the Missouri State Highway Patrol at 573-526-6178, or toll free 866-362-6422, or private investigator Leslie at 910-427-0070, and see what we can do to get Dana located and back home to her family where she needs to be. Derek was asking how I first found out about Dana's case, and I was trying to recall if it was you that initially contacted me or if I saw it somewhere else, but I think it was you that initially contacted me. Correct me if I'm wrong.
You've covered it pretty much since I met you, so
Yeah.
I was curious. And you just got the Missouri page probably 2 or 3 years ago, so I was just curious because you've covered Dana since the get-go.
Yeah. And this is one that I did the other day. Let's see. What's way up there? Okay. This is Shalise Angel Wells, missing from Irving, Texas, since February 3rd, 2024. 24 when she went missing. She'll now be 25. She's 5'4", 140 pounds, brown hair, brown eyes. Shalise attended a party at the Embassy Suites by Hilton, located at 4650 West State Highway 183 in Irving, Texas. She was dropped off at a party at 10:30 p.m. Later that night, Shalise was last seen by friends leaving in a vehicle with an unknown male. Shalise never returned home and has not been heard from or seen since. She missed her youngest child's first birthday 3 days later. Shalise left her jacket and her other personal belongings behind at the hotel. Her phone last pinged to an area, Walnut Hill and Central Expressway in Dallas, Texas, before going offline just after 12:30 a.m. It has been reported by cell phone providers that Shalise's phone has been tampered with and was no longer working. And when she went missing, she was 24. She would now be 25. 5'4", weighs 140 pounds, has brown hair and brown eyes. She was last known to be wearing a red jacket, long sleeve black mesh shirt with polka dots, black leggings, and leopard print slippers. If you have any information regarding Shalise's disappearance, or you know of her whereabouts, please call the Irving, Texas Police Department at 972-273-1010, or you can anonymously call North Texas Crime Stoppers at 877-373-8477 and see what we can do to help get Shalise located and back home to her family. And I was reading some. Oh, yeah, thank you, Ellen. She said I contacted her. Okay. Couldn't remember. It's been so long. But I did see some stuff on Shalise's case on a Facebook post where some people are thinking that she may have been trafficked at some point, and that's why she's disappeared. Just like Derek just disappeared. I don't know where he went, but Derek disappeared.
I'm here. I'm just moving. I don't want anybody to get seasick.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so we need to get Shalise located and back home to her family too.
I was gonna ask next week. Can you cover Stephanie Welch and also who else was I gonna? I had another one. Hold on.
Okay.
I'm trying to think. Stephanie Welch and Michael Golub, if you could.
Okay.
There we go. Why am I trying
Let's write those down so I don't forget them. Was she the last one on the list there?
Yep, we got
Nope.
one more.
Oh, that was the one that we covered earlier. That's the old flyer I pulled up, so I could show you the old pictures versus the new pictures.
Okay.
So that one we've already covered, so she can go away.
So that's it, isn't it?
Yep, that's it.
Well, good show, man. It's
Another good show, man. Another good show. It's always fun doing these shows, trying to get the word out and trying to bring people home and solve some crimes. And we haven't done any identified remains in a long time. I might have to work some of those in. Might have to do that.
I feel like we had a lot of people from Facebook tonight, which is pretty new for us lately.
Yeah. Speaking of unidentified remains, I was contacted. We've been covering Kimberly Barnes's flyer for some time now, and I was contacted by her daughter here a little while back, and was told that some unidentified remains had been located, and law enforcement had contacted her to let them know about it, and they were going to send them to be tested to see if there were Kimberly or not. And I've just been waiting to hear back on that. And today, her daughter got back with me and shared with me that the remains were identified as Kimberly's remains.
Wow.
So Kimberly Barnes has been located, deceased. I haven't put that on the page yet, which I'm going to do after the show. But sadly, Kimberly Barnes has been located, deceased, unfortunately. So I will update that here. Not as soon as the show's done, I will do that. Sad update, but it's all part of the deal, you know. I mean, not all of them are going to be found safe, unfortunately. I mean, ultimately, we'd like to see that, but you know, realistically, it just doesn't happen that way all the time, and it's sad when it doesn't. And my thoughts and prayers go out to Kimberly's daughter and the rest of her family while they deal with this situation. Now that they know that Kimberly's no longer with us, and may she rest in peace in God's heavenly kingdom. But anyway, I just want to thank everybody for joining us for the show tonight and hanging with us and going over these cases. I know some of these juveniles, they tend to get covered repeatedly because they just don't know how to stay put. But it's important that they are found anyway.
Yeah.
You know, it's like I was bringing up last week. I posted an article about a guy that was arrested in Missouri for trafficking a child. And it turned out she was a foster kid that was missing from Kansas that he had trafficked, and so he was arrested and charged with all that and some other stuff. And so, you know, it's important that even if these kids are foster kids or our own kids or whatever, it's important that they're all found and make sure they're back to a safe place before stuff like that happens. You know, so that's why I don't like to use the label runaway, because people automatically think, oh, bad kid, you know, and it's not always true. There's a lot of these kids that don't end up in the system because of what they do. It's because sometimes they end up there because of what their parents do. And my two girls are a shining example of that. They ended up in foster care not because of their own mistakes, because they were babies. It was their parents' mistakes that put them there. So, got to keep that in mind. But anyway, back to where I was going. It's, you know, thank you again, everybody, for joining us tonight and hanging with us. And you know, hope to catch everybody next week. But until I just want to say, Heavenly Father, thank you for bringing us together tonight to go over these cases and bring some folks home and solve some crimes. And, you know, as always, we pray that the flyers reach the right ears and the right hearts, that they'll do the right thing and make the right calls and get that information in there that could bring somebody home, because I'm a firm believer that somebody knows something. So until we see each other next week, you know, everybody stay healthy, stay safe, God bless, and amen.
Amen.